What's up guys, Tech Savvy Buyer here. So today what we're going to look at is the new lineup of Nvidia's Shield TV devices. And so on my right hand we've got the base level entry model, which is $150 today. And then we've got the Pro model here on the left, which is $200. So for a $50 difference, what exactly do you get with going with the Pro? What are the major differences? And should you be spending your money on this one or this one? We're going to find all that stuff out. In addition to that, what we're also going to look at is the emulation performance using Daemon PS2 as well as Dolphin Emulator, since those are the two probably most taxing Android emulators that you can get, and only really good devices can play games at full speed using those emulators, albeit some games do have their own challenges with it. Nonetheless, we're going to jump into all the details of this after we get a quick word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by GVGMall.com. GVG Mall carries a wide variety of game currencies and gift cards that you could use to take your gaming to the next level. If you're looking for a fresh copy of Windows or Microsoft Office, then you can certainly find those on GVGMall.com as well. They are priced very competitively and offer legit copies of Microsoft software. You can pick up a copy of Windows 10 Pro for under $15. Visit GVGMall.com for more information and use code TSB to save during checkout. So welcome back guys. Don't forget to check out GVG Mall for any of your Windows or Microsoft Office needs. They definitely have a good deal and they still work and are legit. So check them out. Links are in the description below for you guys to go ahead and check that out. So back to the Nvidia Shield TV and the Nvidia Shield TV tube-like model here. So definitely let's start with the base model here. This is a very unique design, guys. When I first saw this, kind of couldn't believe that Nvidia was going to make a product that looks like this. And I'm going to give you guys a very, very honest review, not like some of the stuff you're already seeing out there. This does not by any means look or feel like it should be worth $150. Besides just the feel of the product, where, you know, most people associate premium stuff with the way it weighs, essentially. It doesn't look or feel premium. It actually feels like something that I wouldn't want to spend more than $50 on. I'd be very frank with you guys. Now, the thing that sets it apart are really the internals, and that's what kind of makes up for its value. And I say kind of with a heavy heart because, unfortunately, I still think for a 2019 refresh after a 2017 model right here, there's still a lot left to be had, but I guess they made up for that by giving you a cheaper price than the 2017 edition, which used to start at $200. Granted, you can get it on sale during Black Friday and whatnot for a lot cheaper. So what all does the base model actually come with? And it's pretty simple. So the base model still includes the exact same processor that's in the Pro model. It has the Nvidia Tegra X1 Plus processor, which is touted to be 25% faster than the 2017 edition. And honestly, guys, aside from that, the two other things that I think would make this device partially worth it is that you have native support for Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision at this point, and it comes with the new remote control, which honestly and admittedly to me, personal opinion, is a lot better than the old school ones that came with the other Shields. Aside from that, honestly, guys, this is not worth $150. And again, I'm just telling you how I think of this device. It only has 2 gigs of RAM, and it only has a onboard storage of 8 gigs. Now, you can expand the onboard storage via a micro SD slot that's located on this, which is great, but realistically, 8 gigs is not going to get you anywhere. So this device is perfect for people who are not planning to do any kind of downloading or gaming on this via local play, but for anyone who's just basically trying to use this for a cable device, streaming device, or, you know, potentially even hooking it up to a Plex server, and I'll touch on that later because that's one of the features that's touted of the Pro, which again, I have a beef to pick with that. But at that price point, at $150, you have options with tons of different Android TV boxes that can pretty much deliver the same performance. Now, bearing aside the price point, the Nvidia Shield device generally is made for certain types of people in mind. Not everyone is going to jump right after this. And a lot of it is with the focus of gaming in mind. So GeForce Now is natively obviously supported on the Nvidia Shield TV, regardless of whether you get the base model or if you get the Pro model. And that's a feature that you can't get on other devices yet, at least. It's kind of buggy on Android, on other devices if you try, but you get the free subscription and you can play some free games on this now, which is great. What is really great about this and what I think sets it apart from every other TV box that's out there is the fluidity and the response of how the OS of Android 9 in this case has been implemented on the Shield. It's generally just liquid smooth. So if you compare the specs of that to this, I mean, when I was operating the new Shield compared to this, I really didn't feel much of a difference. And the AI upscaling is fantastic. ETA Prime did an excellent video to showcase the AI upscaling. I'm not really going to cover the samples of that because it's already out, and ETA Prime is an awesome YouTuber. You guys should check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below as well so you guys can see that video. But definitely a feature alone worth having. So to cut to the chase, the only reason you would want to buy this and spend 150 bucks of your hard-earned money is if you are really interested in having a TV stick / dongle, whatever you want to call this, that's capable of outputting Dolby Atmos, that has a very, very fast, fluid, smooth interface. You don't want an actual physical set-top box on your TV unit or your console area. You just want to tuck it behind cables and not like the Pro version that's here. And last but not least, the AI upscaling really matters to you. The AI upscaling, I honestly have to admit, is a feature in itself that I think could warrant the price tag for this, because it's a lot different than how it's being implemented in built-in TVs that support Android or whatever. So it's like Sony TVs, for example, have 4K upscaling, but they're not AI upscaling. AI upscaling, again, is a whole other ballpark. It's artificial intelligence being used, which kind of computes or bridges the gap between the pixels, not like checkerboard rendering, but in a way that if this video was shot in 4K and here's a 720p version of it, what are the differences? The artificial intelligence actually computes that difference and then builds the gap in between. And again, that's like the short rundown version. I might be actually getting something a little bit wrong with that, but basically that's what it is in a gist, or in a nutshell. You'll pretty much understand it from that way. So now, how does that negatively impact this device? And I'm going to be very honest here. Even though the 2017 edition has a slower processor, it's got the Tegra X one, not the X Plus. So believe it or not, the emulation performance of the original Shield is still top dog. And there really isn't a lot of performance improvements to be seen. And most of that is really because the new processor upgrade is really there to support the AI upscale portion. It's not really there to take advantage of in those aspects. So even looking at benchmarks, even looking at different things, it wasn't something that I'd say, hey, I'm going to go and spend another $200 if I'm already a current Shield owner. So with that in mind, that is pretty much the use what you would get with this guy, okay? For today's day in 2019, having only 2 gigs of RAM in this and 8 gigs of storage is really shameful, honestly. And I think that Nvidia should definitely invest in better specs and not just take advantage of the brand name, the software configuration, and the AI upscaling in this case. But nonetheless, guys, honestly, I would wholeheartedly recommend this to anyone who is okay with spending a little bit of extra cash and getting bang for buck and is looking for like the needs I mentioned, that you're trying to put this behind and not really have it visible. And the remote, by the way, is a solid remote. We'll touch on that here in a bit as well. Moving on to the Shield Pro. Now this one is touted as the Pro, and the main difference between this and the base model is that it comes with 3 gigs of RAM and it has 16 gigs of built-in storage, which definitely makes a significant difference when you're looking at Plex server capabilities. It also touts itself as being a Plex media server in this case, which with 16 gigs of storage isn't, you know, a solution. But nowadays, guys, honestly, if you're ripping Blu-rays, whether they're in 1080 or in 4K, 16 gigs or even 500 gigs for that matter is not a lot of storage. You're going to need to use some kind of external thing, and that's why they gave 2 ports, which is the same that's on the 2017 edition. So in that case, I think advertising that as a feature to me is kind of shady. I wouldn't really advertise that as a huge feature set of the new Pro. However, with that being said, the AI upscaling on this is exactly the same that it is on the base model, and it's doing it really well. You get the native support for Dolby Atmos just like you do on the base model, and you also get the new remote control that is coming equipped with the new Shield TVs. So in a nutshell, the main $50 difference you're getting is design of aesthetics. You're getting more RAM and you're getting more storage than the base model here with the Pro model. Now, I will be upfront with you guys. Again, like I said, I'm trying to be honest in this. This is the 2017 edition. If you already own this, by all means, this is a hard pass. It is simply not worth investing another $200 in a new Shield if you already have the 2017 edition. Another thing is, if you don't own any one of these right now, but you've been eyeing a Shield, I would personally skip out on this generation until it comes on sale and probably pick up one of these this Black Friday, because it's going to be down to about 130 bucks, which is one heck of a deal for the stuff that you get inside the 2017 edition. Again, there really isn't a huge amount of difference. The remote is set to be sold at a later date and it's going to retail for 30 bucks, so you can use the new remote with this. And Dolby Atmos is already a pass-through feature on this, so it may not be natively supported on Netflix content. And let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of content on Netflix that supports Dolby Dolby Atmos as is, so there's really no point in investing for that. Now, AI upscaling, if that's something that really matters to you and you are a graphical snob or a detail snob, you like to consider yourself like that, and you really want to focus on teeny tiny details that 90% of people probably won't even notice, then upscaling is the way to go, and this device cannot be beat in that matter. Of all the different TV boxes that are out there in the market today, whether it's the Xiaomi Mi box or if it's any of Apple's lineup of their TV box, or it's basically anything in that matter, this is the top dog. This is the best thing that you can get. Does it warrant its price tag? Probably not, but that's the premium that you have to pay if you want to get something that works really well. So in this case, like I said, the specs that are loaded in both of these devices do not warrant its price tag. This is only 3 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, which, guys, again, it's 2019. Our cell phones, granted they're a lot more expensive, have a ton more in specs and can do emulation way better than this. So I personally have a Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and it totally poops all over this in terms of performance for emulation. And obviously that's more than likely going to happen, right? But if this is a TV box that's being also advertised to play premium Android games, and that's pretty much what its limitations are. You can play premium Android games like the new Call of Duty or whatever that's supported on Android TV really well on this, and it'll work flawlessly, full speed, nice resolutions. You're going to get all that crispness in it. When it comes to emulation, guys, this thing is just not performing as I would expect for a device that's been released 2 years later and has a boosted processor of 25%. The games that ran slow on the original Shield still run slow on this Shield. They're not running any faster. You're still not going to get full speed games performance, whether you're using Dolphin or whether you're even using a Damon PS2 for that matter. In fact, I'd even go as far as saying that some of the games I was playing on PP, SSPP as well didn't perform all that well. There was noticeably slowdowns while I was playing Tekken, and there were noticeable slowdowns while I was playing God of War on there as well. So a couple of things I did mess around with to see if it would make a difference was turning off the 4K upscaling feature, or the AI upscaler in this case, and that made a slight difference in performance of emulation, but I guess you could look at it as a cool thing. You can actually upscale content that you're emulating into 4K, which looked pretty nice while I was doing it, but with the slowdown in performance, it just totally wasn't worth it. So I don't mean for this review to be completely negative in that aspect. I do think I'm personally a huge fan of Nvidia's Shield lineup. I think they make solid products. I just think that with this iteration, I really was expecting a little bit more. And considering the price tag that they're asking for this, there's a lot of competition out there that can give you a pretty similar experience. So again, if you're someone who's just looking to do streaming, cable, YouTube TV, all that kind of stuff, I would seriously just pass on the Shield altogether because it's priced way too high. You can definitely get an Apple TV or a Amazon Fire TV for a cheaper price if you find one, and they're definitely going to do the same performance level that these two devices will do. Now, if you care about the AI upscaling, if you care about GeForce Now and that type of gaming, or you want to take advantage of Game Stream, that's another big thing. If you have an Nvidia-based GPU and your personal computer and you want to stream games locally, this is a great device to do that, and it'll actually stream it in 4K and do it very well as well. So another thing, not to nitpick here, which they didn't include, is Wi-Fi 6. Now, Wi-Fi 6 is starting to become one of those things that gets supported on multiple devices. Although it's not a router, it would have been nice to see that they had included Wi-Fi 6. So really, if you look at the main differences between the 2017 and this model here, the 2019, is what's written on the side of the box. That is about it. Is that worth upgrading to from an existing Shield? Guys, for me, absolutely, it's a hard no. I'm not going to bother upgrading to that. So enough for like calling this a rant video or whatnot. I do have a full detailed review on the Nvidia Shield and its capabilities. You guys can click on the link here to see that, and definitely it's a very solid product. I wouldn't say that don't purchase the Nvidia Shield at all. I think it's a very, very solid product. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but this refresh kind of left me disappointed, to say the least. But anyways, guys, that is what 2019 Shield is bringing to your living room today. So if you guys still want to pick one up, I do have links in the description below where you guys can check it out, and hopefully if it is something that suits your needs, then go for it by all means. But until then, guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below, and if you're new to my channel, do consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date when I put out new content like this. As always, thank you very much for sticking through to the end of this video, and I'll catch you guys on my next one. Bye.